Hello, I'm Laura. I'm French, and my plan was to travel from France to Japan on the Overland. Sounds good, no?
But did you travel from?
So no, I didn't do it. so so far here I'm in Laos, and I traveled overland to Laos. I was supposed to go to Japan, but when I was in Kazakhstan, it was really cold, minus 15 degree, with like 30 centimeter high of snow, and I was like, I think I want to follow the sun. So that's what I did, and that's why I'm in Southeast Asia right now. So at the beginning, I was torn between Interrail, this trip in Europe by train only. So you have a pass, and you can take as much train as you want. And so I was like, okay, let's do that. And I was like, no, maybe a van is better because you can go all the places you want. You can be like really out of an old civilization. I was like, okay, cool, let's do that. But the van include like a lot of invest just after uni, and I didn't have enough money to do that. And then I was like, okay, with the van, if I reach Moscow, actually, I really want to cross all Russia. It was out before the war. I really want to cross all Russia and reach like East Asia. And I was like, okay, well, let's just take the Trans-Siberian train. It was the first idea. So then I was like, okay, I would cross all Europe, then take the Trans-Siberian train. I was like, okay, let's see though, I don't know. And once when I was working, I saw this calendar with amazing pictures. I was like, where is that? It looks amazing. Oh, Uzbekistan, Central Asia. Perfect. I don't know anything of this place. Let's go there. And it's really how I plan my trip. And I was like, okay, so now let's go to Central Asia. So instead of the Trans-Siberian train, like the main part of my travel was Central Asia. So the plan was to go to Japan. So from Europe, Central Asia, and Japan, because after Japan is just Pacific Ocean, and I don't feel like to stay on the boat for 3 months or something. But here I am in Laos, and I didn't go to Japan, so why not after all? Now I just follow the flow and let's see. I'm traveling mostly by boat, bus, and train. Sometimes I hitchhike, so it happens mostly when I missed my train or I missed my bus. Small anecdote, in Kazakhstan, you have like different clock time. So it's always, the tickets are always with the clock of the capital. But when you're at the west part, it doesn't work. So everyone missed their train there. And the trains are so slow that I missed this train, then I hitchhike for 8 hours, and I just catch the same train later in another town because this train took so much longer to arrive. I decided to travel overland for ecological reason, and also because like I really like this slow travel concept. When you're going from one country to another, you can see the transition for the landscapes, you can see the transition about the cultures, and then you learn about the history, and everything is connected. Mostly because of that, and just because I really like to take my time. So I just volunteer in each country I go. I did crazy volunteerings, like renovating a house in Slovenia, like teaching kayak and stand-up paddle to French kids in Turkey as well. So crazy things. It was really, really nice. And I really like to settle a bit in one place so I can learn about the culture, I can learn about the locals, because I'm working with locals as well. Sometimes the language barrier is like really hard, but it's funny, it's part of the game, and language is so much more than only speaking. It's like all your body language, your smile, your energy. So if you have a good energy, for sure it works every time. At the beginning, it was not easy for my family. They just like ignored the project. They were like, yeah, she will never do it. So I was planning everything by myself. It was really hard because it was like a dream for me. And when you want to realize your dream, you want to have some support. But yeah, it's a bit weird when you don't have support for what you really want to do. So it was really hard. We had few fights, but now like when 2 weeks before, 2 or 1 week before the beginning of this trip, um, they really realized that I will leave definitely, and it was hard, but they accepted, and now I have a lot of support from them, so it's really cool. But still, I do wild camping. I do wild camping, hitchhiking, and my mother is so scared about it because she never left France except for Belgium, Germany, or closer European, like really close to European countries. Um, yeah, and now I want to buy a boat to paddle on the river, like from north to south to Thailand or to Vietnam. So this kind of shit, I just do it because I love it. I love to be out of the box, and yeah, I think I will tell her when it will be over. Not now, definitely not. Um, so in Europe, I really liked Slovenia. I mean, so Slovenia is really cute, small. You have Ljubljana, this capital. It's really cute, and I loved it. And then I spent 2 weeks in the Socha Valley. It's beautiful. It was winter. It was gray, but it was still beautiful with like amazing nature. And Slovenia, yeah, I really liked Sarajevo in Bosnia and Herzegovina. It was surprising because you have like this small old Turkish town, and then you cross one street and you feel like you're in Austria or something. It's really weird, and I liked it a lot. And in Bosnia, you can learn a lot about all the European history. All the shit happened with ex-Yugoslavia, Russia, USSR, Serbia, and stuff. So it's really, really interesting place to go. And for me, crazy Albania. I don't know. I arrived in Albania. It's just no link with the rest of Europe. It's just like German buses, French buses. It was a really close country, so when it happened, like everything, it's like you have like shepherds, but they have TikTok and cars. But it's just a mix of old time and new time. It's really weird, a bit like Central Asia, but it was the first time for me Albania, so it was crazy. Yeah, so weird feelings about Albania. So from Greece, I went to Turkey, then Georgia, then I crossed Russia for 3 days, and I reached Kazakhstan, so all Central Asia. The cultural shock in Central Asia was really hard because the first question people asked to me was like, "Oh, what's your name? Are you married? Do you have kids? And how old are you?" So I'm not married, I don't have kids, and I'm 25, so they were like, "Do you have disease or something?" Because the girls just like, they were married at like 20 or 21 years old there, so it's weird for a woman to be like single and to be 24 years old. So it was really hard, and for an Occidental woman, you're like, yeah, I'm independent, strong, and I'm traveling by my own. So you just have this kind of question, like, what's wrong with you? I don't want to, what the hell? Why do you ask me that? So yeah, it was hard at the beginning, but then they are lovely people. I had so many friends there, and it's just like so cool, really nice. I really enjoyed this place. I volunteer in each country I go, so I don't know how many countries, maybe like 20 countries crossed so far. And the craziest, I really, mostly in hostels. Because it's easy, you just show up and you're like, hey, do you need a volunteer? And that's it. They are like, oh yeah, oh no, but never mind. But I think the craziest one was the one in Turkey. So I was really like every single day on the sea with kayak or stand-up paddle. We were like a big group of people, and I'm doing animation with kids for like, that's my job in France. So it's just like, so it was really easy for me, and I'm a really sportive person as well. So paddling, kayaking was so cool, and at the end you're just so tired and fed up the kids, of course, but you just have such a good time. And I learned how to windsurf as well. So my friends teach me how to windsurf. I don't know, it was just such a good atmosphere, and we were literally living all together. So I don't know, yeah, I would say Turkey. And the food, oh my god, so good food. In Central Asia, So I worked in hostels, but in one of them in Kyrgyzstan, I was renovating doors in a hostel. So it was really funny because I wasn't in the capital just before, and an Afghan friend was with me, and I was like, okay, just join me for a few days in this town. It looks amazing. We can hike and stuff, and then we can go back to you can go back to the capital. So we went together, and so I applied for the volunteering. It was okay for me. And the second day, he just showed up and say, "Oh, is it okay if I volunteer as well?" So he ended up with me for 1 week and a half. We were just renovating doors all together. It's just the most random thing you can do in a hostel, actually. And I like that. It's like here a bit in Laos. We are working on the cruise, and it's just like not changing beds or this kind of thing you do all the time, and it's not even interesting. But like working on the cruise, speaking with people and stuff, it's just so much more fun. And yeah, so in Central Asia, I renovated doors. True. So Central Asia, I crossed all China in 5 days in trains. It was a really crazy adventure because I didn't have Wi-Fi in China, and in China everything is connected. So you need a SIM card, you need internet to pay, you need everything. I had some cash, but not enough. And it was just crazy. I was like, okay, give me just the first train going east. And they were like, okay, but I couldn't understand the ticket because it was in Chinese. So I was like in the train, I didn't know my destination. I was like, well, let's see where I end up. For a few days like this. So from Kazakhstan, I crossed all China, and I ended up in Vietnam for Christmas because I have a friend living there. So I just spent Christmas with him. It was nice. I planned 10,000 euro for 1 year and a half, so it's around 15 euro per day, kind of. And the thing is, like, at some point I spend more money because like 15 euro per day, it includes like the accommodation, the transportation, and the food and everything. So that's why I really like to do volunteering as well. It's easier because I just stay in one place. I don't have to pay for accommodation, for the food sometimes, but never mind because the food is okay. It's like the cheaper thing, actually. So it's like a balance. Sometimes I will spend more, sometimes I will spend a bit less. And yeah, that's like this. And I hitchhike a lot. Like now, I feel comfortable and confident enough with hitchhiking to just hitchhike in all Southeast Asia. So now I just hitchhike as much as I can. So the transportation, no more money for transportation, or almost. So I met this Belgian guy in Greece, and he's traveling without any money. So he's just playing guitar in the street and just earning money this way, and then he's just sleeping his hammock a bit everywhere in the forest, in the middle of nowhere, or he asks people to just if he can sleep in their place or in their hotel for one night or this kind of thing. It's really inspiring because like everyone say that you need money to travel. Everyone say you need a lot of things to travel. In fact, not really. And he teach me a lot about when you hitchhike, for example, people always or most of the time offer you the meal or the lunch. And at the beginning I felt bad because I was like, no, but I want to give you back something. And he told me, no. They give you something, but even if you don't give them back something, you will give it to someone else. And it's just like keep going. And I really like this philosophy of okay, I accept that I received today, but I will give it back to someone else at some other point. So I met him, and I have so many friends now cycling from France to Japan. So I met one of my friends in Kazakhstan, and funny story, we met here in Laos because he was in Thailand, I was in Vietnam, and we met in Laos, and we're gonna meet again in Vietnam. So he's cycling the whole way. I met people hitchhiking the whole way as well, and they are heading to Australia. So crazy project, even more crazy than me, I feel like. But like craziness is not like, there is no small projects. And if something is crazy for me, it cannot be for someone else. Like for example, I was so scared of wild camping the first time, or hitchhiking the first time, because I never hitchhike in France. And yes, but the best feeling is like, okay, you're scared, but you still do it. And when you success, it's just a so satisfying feeling. It's just like, yay, I just like, you push your limit all the time, and it's the best feeling ever. I feel like it's really the best. Like buying this boat and paddling for days and days to reach the sea in Vietnam, it can be just so crazy. It's only in movies for me, but doing it like in the real life is just amazing, just amazing. I'm looking forward to do that. So it's just like, it's just always like an exciting thing, you know. That's how I like to travel. I like to push my limits. I like to try something else, and then up you do it. Or even if you don't succeed, it's all right. I mean, you don't have to. You're always like growing. You're still growing up with new experiences. But just like, instead of just going to only touristic places or other things, yeah, okay, let's keep going and try something else. And that's what I like in traveling. Bye.